Slee, we'll start with you, of course. You've travelled from Gauteng to Limpopo. What did you find along the way?
Well, we left around 6 o'clock this morning, Shahan, making our way towards Limpopo. And, of course, we did see a lot of clouds gathering. It was quite chilly as well. In fact, the roads were very misty once we got to the R81. But Joe and I could barely see what was in front of us. And intermittently, we were experiencing rain. But I think for the most part, the rain levels, or should I say, rain in the Limpopo province has certainly subsided. It's now very sunny. It's bright out. There's blue skies, but of course a lot of destruction that's been left by the tropical storm Eloise left a trail of destruction here in Limpopo. We understand that the Vhembe and Mopani districts are the worst affected. A number of bridges have been washed away by the floods, and that has left a number of communities essentially trapped because they cannot access services, and the roads as well have been damaged. In fact, on the R81, there was a sinkhole that has been formed due to the heavy floods, as well as a pipe having burst on that particular road. Let's take a listen to one of the engineers tasked with fixing the R81.
It was the damage which was caused by the rain which we started on Sunday, and yesterday it was also raining heavily. So there's a culvert there which was washed away, and it caused the sinkhole on the road. So we are now busy repairing so that there can be free flow of traffic without disruption.
So, Kaya, of course, the Cooperative Governance Minister holding a press conference earlier about the situation across the country. How's it looking?
Well, that's right, Shahan. So a very comprehensive briefing where Minister Dlamini Zuma was talking about the short-term measures now that they are implementing, where they are assisting some of the areas that are affected, but also there was a confirmation that 2 fatalities were recorded in KwaZulu-Natal and Mpumalanga respectively. So most importantly, we do understand that we're not out of the woods yet. As much as the storm is not here, it's somewhere in Botswana, but now the officials from the side of the South African Weather Service, they do want that this particular storm may return and affect quite a number of provinces. But this is how the minister elaborated.
There are 3 provinces that have been affected: Limpopo, Mpumalanga, and northern KZN, especially Mkhanyakude. In Limpopo, it's been mainly Vhembe and Mopane. Correction. In Mpumalanga, it's been mainly Ehlanzeni, but other parts of Limpopo as well. The severe floods that we have had have disrupted some of the traffic because the trees have been falling on the roads, but fortunately the emergency services have been very responsive to make sure that they remove those trees. But some floods have cut out communities, and the local municipalities are dealing with that. And of course, some of the government buildings also have been affected by the storm, including also the bridges. Some of the bridges have been destroyed by the storms, meaning that our people are not in those areas, are not able to cross. And unfortunately, in Mpumalanga, we've had 1 fatality.
So, Celine, let's talk about the damage in Limpopo and how officials are planning on dealing with the situation.
Well, what we understand, Shahan, is that the officials here in Limpopo are tasked with remaining on high alert. Yes, the storm has moved, but at this stage it's just a matter of now dealing with the destruction as well as the communities and families that have been affected by the destruction that Tropical Storm Eloise has left. And what we understand is that the MEC of COPTA will be visiting some of those affected families. Let's take a listen.
As for now, we are able to manage the situation. There are some few bridges which have been washed away. The Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure in the province is busy handling. But also we had seen where trees were falling and closing or hindering transports. We have already been able to clear that with the Department of Transport and Sandra. So I can briefly say that as for now, as a province, we are able to handle. Tomorrow we will be visiting some of these houses which have been badly affected, just to give them support and see their situation as political leadership, just to ascertain ourselves the work that is being done by our officials on the ground.
Kaya, unfortunately, some provinces have recorded fatalities. What can you tell us?
Well, that's right, Shahan, very grim development to that effect. So now the confirmation so far is that KwaZulu-Natal has recorded a fatality in the area around Abakulusi. I believe it's under the Zululand District Municipality. And then you do have in Mpumalanga Province, in Masoyo to be precise, that's where another fatality has been recorded. But also, we've just received confirmation from authorities. They say about 2 people are believed to have been swept away, so the search and rescue team has been deployed around the area of Mashishing. So they are really working so hard in making sure that they really try to retrieve the people who are concerned. But also, most importantly, what has been a very key message from the side of authorities, this is a multi-sectoral operation. They're working with so many entities, but a very key message they're emphasizing for people in low-lying areas to move away from those areas should there be heavy rains. As we know that, like I said, the storm might have gone to Botswana, but there's a strong likelihood that it may return. South African Weather Service is tracking the storm, and they're working so hard alongside the disaster teams from mainly other provinces. And of course, the National Disaster Management as well is keeping a beady eye to all these developments.
We want to report that yesterday late at night, we received a report that there is one fatality that happened at Ebakulusi at Wat 13. The 14-year-old boy was thrown yesterday under Kwashoba. We want to send our condolences to the affected family.
And Sili, lastly, let's talk about the effects the storm has on the environment.
Certainly. I think we, of course, have been focusing quite a bit on the effects it's had on us as residents here in South Africa, and as well as communities that have been affected, of course. But, I think tropical storms have an effect on the environment as well. And I'm actually here in Punda Maria at the Kruger National Park that actually also experienced quite heavy rainfalls earlier on. I'm joined by one of the representatives, Mr. Dalton Mabasa. Thank you so much for joining us. Just give us a sense of what it's been like for the park over the past couple of days in terms of the heavy rainfall.
Thanks very much. As you mentioned, Dalton Mabasa, I'm a manager in Punda Maria concerning environment. So for the past 2 days, we received more than 150 millimeters of rain. So that actually it's a huge boost in terms of water distribution into the field. And then it also actually helps to distribute animals so that they don't even actually concentrate in one place.
And tell us how the animals reacted in terms of the effects of the storm.
Yes, so far it actually indicates that the animals are so very pleased with this water and the rejuvenation of the field. In terms of grazing, actually we've seen a huge change after this the rains of December.
And lastly, I think we focus a lot on the negative effects, but what kind of positive effects does a cyclone have on the environment?
The filling up of dams is one actually water in particular. Filling up of dams, and then it also actually limits in terms of poaching, anti-poaching. It helps in anti-poaching. poachers, they don't actually get access to come to actually walk into the field because of this unable to cross the rivers.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Mabasa.
You're welcome.
All right, that is Mr. Dalton Mabasa here at the Punda Maria Kruger National Camp, just talking us through some of the effects the cyclone has had on the environment.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Slindelo Masikane.